We got to talk about Dillon Brooks, the LeBron James from last night, because I think Dillon Brooks is doing something pretty dumb here. I know there have been LeBron James agitators in the past, like Lance Stevenson and guys like that, but I think Dillon Brooks has got to be careful because he said he's poking the bear, and last night it's real easy to talk trash when you're up 20 points. Credit to Memphis. They played a good game last night, but also the Lakers go how Anthony Davis goes. If that's not apparent to everybody, then got to get on board because Anthony Davis is the engine now. If he's, dropping 30 points,
right.
It's all about him. So they got a night where Anthony Davis was just not effective last night on the offensive side. He just wasn't being, aggressive. He really just wasn't imposing his will on the game. So you got that. So now Dillon Brooks going after LeBron. Perloff, I only see this backfiring on Dillon Brooks. I don't know why he would try to play these mind games with James.
Well, I think your logic's a little off on that because if you think the only key is to get Anthony Davis going for the Lakers, then what's wrong with sort of inspiring LeBron to shoot the ball all the time? If LeBron falls into this trap that Dillon Brooks laid for him, he's going to be firing up shots all over the place and take Anthony Davis out of the game as well. I don't think the way the Lakers are built right now, having a 40-point game out of LeBron James is necessarily going to be what they need. They need Anthony Davis.
I know, but why? Just because Dillon Brooks said that he's not going to give LeBron any respect unless LeBron drops 40 on him, what makes anyone think LeBron's going to fall for that? LeBron should know in year 20, I don't think he has anything to prove to Dillon Brooks. Like, let's go resume for resume here. LeBron blows him out of the water, obviously.
That's not how a basketball court works, and you know it, Maggie. I don't care if you have 9 rings. If guys talks trash to you, that is going to get through to you no matter what you've done on any court, anytime. Everybody is always susceptible. Even LeBron. I don't think LeBron, first of all, he wouldn't rest on his laurels, but I think you can get to LeBron. You can get to his pride, especially because he's not 31-year-old LeBron. 31-year-old LeBron, I don't know if Dillon Brooks is messing with. 38-year-old LeBron is not going to single-handedly lift you to the series win.
Okay, but 31-year-old LeBron might take the bait. He might, because he knows he can drop 40 a night.
He might take the bait and win the game.
Right. 38-year-old LeBron doesn't take this bait.
He will take the bait.
He doesn't. He knows that the best way to get the last laugh, of course, is to win. Like, LeBron's not about winning series right now. He's about adding championships and rings. To get past the Memphis Grizzlies, he knows that this has got to go through Anthony Davis. LeBron was the one who got Anthony Davis out of New Orleans and set this all in motion years ago.
Right.
He's not going to derail the whole thing because Dillon Brooks, who apparently is channeling J.R. Smith and cannot wear a shirt, but loves a vest with no shirt. Great look, dude. He's not going to fall for this Dillon Brooks stuff.
He fell for it last night. He was talking, especially in the second half. He was walking towards the bench, talking to Dillon Brooks. He's clearly engaged with Dillon Brooks.
Okay, talking a little bit, but it's not going to get LeBron out of his game. Also, it's just Anthony Davis has got to show up. He's got to show up more on the offensive side, and then this whole thing takes care of itself.
But I kind of disagree with you saying that it didn't work last night. It wasn't just because they're up by 20. They brought out a G League team last night and beat the pants off the Lakers in the first half. I think it's in part because Brooks, something happens with that team when John Moran is gone.
Yeah.
They rally around each other and they bring out the best in each other. These are lower draft picks.
Jones is also good at distributing the ball.
He's good. Yeah, no, he's a very good backup point guard. But I do think everybody plays their best game when John Moran is out. And I think Dillon Brooks, his mental edge helps an inferior Grizzlies team. There's no way the Lakers should have lost to that team last night. Xavier Tillman, Maggie, I mean, he was in the G League. I double-checked this to make sure I wasn't making it up.
Yeah.
So, honestly, that team had to use this mental battle to overcome the talent deficit. I think that's what Brooks is doing here.
I think the reason, I don't know why the Lakers came out flat here. Everyone knows that Memphis can still win games even when John Morant's not on the floor. But I think the Lakers just came out and thought, we've got this one in the bag. I don't know why they would think that. That's a mistake to think that. That's on LeBron, that's on AD, that's on Darvin Ham, that's on all of them if they thought they had this thing just because Ja wasn't playing. But I think that's what happened. I think they left their foot off the gas.
We saw the same thing happen to the Heat against the Bucks. The Heat sleptwalk through that game. They didn't even show up. And honestly, the Bucks killed them from the three-point line. But the one guy who definitely did not take yesterday lightly Rui Hachimura is the biggest revelation.
He's your new guy.
If I told you, Maggie, that Rui Hachimura was going to score over 20 points in the first 2 games of the Lakers-Grizzlies series, you would have guaranteed me the Lakers would be up 2-0. The fact that they got another guy out of nowhere to add to LeBron James and Anthony Davis, this is an incredible revelation. And
the problem is they got nothing from the guard spots.
Yeah.
It's just it's fine for Hachimura, coming in as the backup center. I don't know, whatever he is.
I saw him post up a guy from 20 feet from the basket and do this turnaround. He looks amazing.
Wait, let's hear a little of Dillon Brooks from after the game. So if you were not watching the post game, Brooks was asked about being an agitator on LeBron.
People out there that say maybe you shouldn't do that with one of the better players in the game. I guess what were you thinking?
I don't care. He's old. You know what I mean? I was waiting for that. I was expecting him to do that game 4, game 5.
Okay. Called him old.
Yeah, no. He knows what he's doing here, Maggie. You have to admit, there's no way LeBron can't take that bait. He's human.
LeBron is also smart enough to know that in basketball parlance, he is old. You don't have to tell LeBron that. Dude's been messing with his hairline for 10 years. He knows that he's old. That's not going to affect him because he's playing better at 38 than Jordan played at 38. He knows that he's old, but he's still really good.
Why would you bring in the Jordan thing there? It makes no sense whatsoever. But anyway, yeah, I don't think LeBron, there's any chance at all that he couldn't emotionally engage with that statement. You don't think that LeBron is angry as all get out right now?
Because some guy who's in his 20s pointed out that LeBron's in his 30s. That doesn't get him riled up anymore.
Listen to the question again. Let's play that again and tell me, you put yourself in LeBron's shoes. This does not make you angry.
People out there that say maybe you shouldn't do that with one of the better players in the game. I guess what were you thinking?
I don't care. He's old. You know what I mean? I was waiting for that. I was expecting him to do that game 4, game 5.
He is writing off LeBron as a non-threat because he's old. And LeBron clearly is still a threat. He's scored 28 points a game this year. I think LeBron is going to be a house on fire in game 3.
Well, as long as they win, it's not going to matter. I don't think that LeBron's going to let this take shots away from Anthony Davis. If Davis is in his groove and being aggressive, LeBron's going to keep feeding him. If Austin Reeves is hitting outside shots, LeBron's going to keep feeding him. It's not going to be like LeBron all of a sudden feels like he's got to drop 81 on Dillon Brooks to prove a point. That's not going to happen.
Okay, I mean, let's be real, too. If LeBron does score 40, they're still at home. There's a good chance the Grizzlies probably won't shoot well in L.A. They shot pretty well yesterday. So I think that LeBron scoring 40 could also win.
Sometimes he does have to score 40.
And if he gets going downhill and has a lot of inside baskets, I think the key is, and maybe Stu can help as a Lakers fan, if they get the ball toward the basket, they got to be aggressive. Anthony Davis has got to be aggressive. Then they should beat this team. I feel like they should beat this team, but as someone who has a significant monetary investment in this Lakers, I am so nervous right now. And I don't like this Dillon Brooks getting LeBron mad thing. This is bothering me.
Well, your investment is not just about this series. You really invested in the Lakers.
Well, yeah, but you can't win the finals if you don't get out of the first round, Maggie.
I've heard that's how it works. We have more from Dillon Brooks. All right, let's hear a little more about him. What he had to say about LeBron.
He wanted to say something when I got my 4th foul. He should have been saying that earlier on. But, I poke bears. I don't respect no one until they come and give me 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, watch Steph Curry do it. Do you respect him?
Well, I guess he respects them after they drop 40.
Yeah, right. I don't think Dillon Brooks really respects anybody. That's the point. That's the shtick. That's the villain thing, right?
Does he remind you?
Or maybe you respect them, but you still talk trash.
It's very Draymond-like, because didn't Draymond go after LeBron back in those finals? And I mean, I think it serves a purpose. Every championship team could use a guy like that. So
Jason Terry did this with LeBron. I remember Lance Stevenson obviously used to love to get in LeBron's under his skin.
It's not just LeBron. Go to the Last Dance, or all these guys who tried to get a Jordan. It didn't work.
Well, and LeBron is also not, unlike Jordan, held the grudges forever, right? And the small slights and all of that stuff all the way into his Hall of Fame speech. LeBron doesn't get that same reputation.
No.
But he might have that.
Well,
he might have it, and that's another reason why I feel like Dillon Brooks, LeBron essentially runs the league as because of clutch sports and because of his fame.
Yeah. But I think the distinction.
It's just sports.
I'm gonna say something that I know is gonna make you mad. I think the distinction is Jordan could always
back it up,
talent his way to. He was just so much better in the '90s. There was nobody who was going to beat him. I'm not saying that LeBron might have dominated the '90s too. Jordan had certain advantages where he really had a pathway to win it all. LeBron can't LeBron's been on some crappy teams, Maggie. He's not always been able to back it up the same way Jordan could. Is that fair to say? I mean, remember when he was at Cleveland, and if you would talk trash to him, you might beat him in the series because the rest of your team might have been way better than the rest of his team.
Yeah, I mean, how much trash do you think that, Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce were talking to him when the last series in Cleveland when LeBron takes the jersey off and then eventually did the decision a couple weeks later?
Right. And remember, KD was on the Warriors, and I think they played one finals against each other. Like, KD, I'm sure, could have talked so much trash because what was LeBron going to do? He was passing to J.R. Smith, where it was Curry, KD on the other side. So I think it's sometimes hard. You could talk trash to LeBron in certain situations because he's not going to be able to do it.
Well, Dillon Brooks did the ultimate, fake tough guy move last night. He might not be a fake tough guy. He might be a real tough guy. But the talking trash when you're up 20.
He was talking trash the second he walked out of that court. Dillon Brooks doesn't care if he's up 20 or down 20. He's good. He's an instigator, Maggie. He knows what he's doing.
Where did all these nicknames come from? In the chat, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. Largent, LeBald, Timothy, LeWine, LeWheelchair, LeCry, LeFlop, LeGeezer. All right.
Wow.
Jeez, you guys had these ready to go.
Is our chat not like LeBron?
I don't think they do. I think they're into Dillon Brooks.
Wait, no. Is it disliking LeBron or liking Dillon Brooks?
I think it's...
I can't figure out Dillon Brooks. Is he likable?
I guess some people like the villain. Yeah, some people love that.
If you took away the villain aspect...
What about his game? The guy against the Lakers, he averages 11 points a game, and
who cares about his game?
It's not his amazing defensive stopper. He's a good defensive wing. He is a good defensive wing, but it's not like he's making all defensive teams and stuff.
I would put his offense and defensive abilities as number 20 on the list of things that people want to talk about with Dillon Brooks. Let's talk about the sunglasses, or the glasses with the gigantic frames.
Yeah, the hater blockers.
The fact that, as you mentioned, he never wears a shirt; he just has a jacket.
That's kind of a ripoff of Russell Westbrook.
I watch him play all the time, and I have no sense of his game because I'm so fascinated with everything else with him. He is pretty good though. He does back up a little. He's tough defensive guy, like you said. He reminds me of Draymond. I don't think he's quite as established as Draymond.
He's only, 6 years in the league, 5 years in the league?
Yeah, I mean, Draymond's a Hall of Famer. I don't necessarily think Dillon Brooks is on that trajectory. But I think there's a real sort of intent there. I think he knows what he's doing. Wow. I think it could work, too. I think the Lakers are a better team, but the Grizzlies might get in their head. Anthony Davis, you can get to him, too, Maggie.
Well, Anthony Davis, off the tip-off, gets hit in the eye. And it was almost like didn't recover from that,
Yeah.
It was not going right for AD last night. Still had a few blocks in the game, but not going well for him.